Well, hello there, thanks for playing World of Tanks, and thanks for checking out this World of Tanks video. Here in the Panther 88 standard match, I'm not sure what the map name is there, not sure what the pronunciation is on that. This is a tier 8 German medium tank premium with preferential matchmaking, which means that during usual +2/-2 matchmaking environments, it does actually not play any higher than tier 9, so all of its matches are either top tier or just one tier under top tier. And I want to kind of talk about, use this video talking about playing at range or engaging the enemies at long ranges. And I want to kind of be careful in talking about playing this game at range or fighting the enemies at long range. Not all vehicles and not all guns or packages for all vehicles are suited for firing at long range. The Panther 88 has an aim time of 2.3, which is kind of average, maybe just a touch slower or longer than I would prefer, but it's not bad certainly. But more to the point, it has an accuracy of 0.32. Let me confirm that. Indeed, 0.32 accuracy rating, which is one of the best accuracies in the game. I mean, it's not maybe elite or something, but it is very good. It's, again, just way better than average. And so, this is one of those vehicles that I think is kind of suited to playing at range. A lot of the heavies do not have the accurate guns necessary for playing at range. A lot of times people doing that will be spending a lot of wasted reload time and wasted aim time and just really kind of doing more harm to their team than helping their team. And in this match, pretty sure it's a tier 9 match, yeah. I kind of came into the middle. There wasn't really anybody else coming quite into what I would identify as being the middle. Wanted to kind of get some good spots here for my team in the middle, and taking the shots that I can, taking the shots that make sense for me. And this T-32 there at D6 is pushing pretty much right into this position that I've been trying to occupy, and so at this point I'm recognizing it's time for me to use the mobility of this medium tank to fall back, to move away. Looks like there that somebody just took out that T-32 enemy moving into my position. As I was playing this, I actually did not notice that. There's a tier 9 Italian medium, the standard B. That player got 3 shots into me, I believe, as I was getting out of that area. So good on that player, I guess. Damaged my gun. I had to repair that there. In this match, I don't have a lot of hit points, and I'm down to about half of the hit points that I started with. Don't have a lot of armor, and the mobility, even though it's it's certainly good enough to my mind, it's not amazing mobility. One of the main advantages that this vehicle has is the accurate gun, the gun that can be used at range. So anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and use up my consumable there and repair that. And so it looks like at this point I'm noticing the enemies that remain in the north are kind of way back by their spawn area, something like B3, 4, 5, maybe right in there. They're certainly not really pushing east. The bulk of the remaining enemy vehicles at this point, it looks like, as we can see on our mini-map, and one of them just got eliminated, but the bulk of the enemy vehicles, it looks like, are kind of in this castle area, kind of in the west and to the south. And so I'm advocating for our guys to sort of focus on the southern space of the map. And you see a couple other mediums kind of following me down there. So good on them. There's one at about G6 and one at about J7. And we're going to see that medium that's way in the back, about E0, also will come into this area and make sure that we fight off the enemies where they are located. Give ourselves an opportunity to sort of form up in a way that is advantageous to us rather than waiting for the enemies to come at us in a way that's not to our advantage, right? If you sort of play the position game ahead of time, then you can kind of basically determine the terrain that you want to be on and how you want to position within that terrain, how you want to orient your vehicle within that terrain, and different things. As you can see here, I'm kind of using this rise and that rock to kind of protect myself. There's this heavy, this ML1. I think there was like a tank destroyer and another medium up in that area. Rather than, try to shoot at the three of those guys and position myself in such a way where the three of those had shots on me, I focused on that STG that was right around J2. So that basically there was only one enemy vehicle that might have shots on me, and other than maybe their artillery, but I was moving around so much, Artie didn't really have much of a chance to hit me. But yeah, put myself in a position so that basically only that STG had any shots on me, and naturally what that meant was I only really had shots of my own on that STG. But that's okay, I only have one gun in this game, and so it's okay that I only had shots on one vehicle. It's not a problem. And we're looking pretty good as a team. We covered the map well. We didn't overextend in any position of the map. We let them push farther south than we, if you will, in that kind of that southwest area. We let them push farther south than we pushed north in that space. So we had a nice angle going from about H2 generally up to maybe C9 generally. We let them do more pushing once we established a nice comfortable line with some fallback area for ourselves. Let them do the pushing and formed up in the way that would make sense for us. And generally speaking, we shot the enemy vehicles as they drove out in front of our reticles. And you can see here at range that the reticle on this Panther 88 is pretty tight. If you were to kind of compare and contrast the way that reticle looks, especially at that range, which, I mean, it's just, you hold the reticle up and it's the same, whatever the range is that's, in front of it or whatever. But if you were to compare and contrast the way that reticle looks, it's getting a lot tighter, a lot smaller of a circle than the reticles would be on, say, like a IS-2 or a IS-3, or to put it in terms of heavy preferential tier 8s, the IS-6, I think would be a pretty strong comparison. I don't actually own that. I don't think I've ever played it, but I don't think it has a .32 accuracy, and I can pretty much guarantee you that if you're comparing and contrasting the reticles of this vehicle and that tier 8 preferential premium heavy, Soviet heavy, Russian heavy, that reticle is going to be pretty big. So, it kind of makes sense to play the Panther 88 at range. There's 13 hits out of 14 shots fired. And if I were to have something similar, taking 14 shots at range with the IS-6 as an example, 14 shots at range, it would probably be something like 5 or 6 hits. I'd be lucky to have like 7 or 8. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for taking a look at this World of Tanks video. And thanks for playing World of Tanks.